head-on. Scaling through crisis amplifies the stories of the small business owners, startup founders, and scale-up entrepreneurs that are thinking big and finding opportunity in crisis while inspiring a generation. As I mentioned, the program is brought to you by Endeavor, and Endeavor is a mission-driven global organization that job creation, innovation, and overall prosperity flourish when there is a robust support for high-impact entrepreneurs. It gives me great pleasure to welcome our guest, Ifedayo Durosinmi Etti, who is an author, entrepreneur, and young global leader with over 10 years of management and leadership experience. Ifedayo is also the managing director at AGS Tribe, and AGS Tribe is a social enterprise created to democratize opportunities for entrepreneurs and nonprofits in Africa. It is also a platform that brings female entrepreneurs together to form cross-border relationships. So Ifedayo, you're somebody who, whose profile is extremely exciting, and I'm very excited to have you on the program with us. I'd like to start by welcoming you and also asking you how you are, how you're faring in this COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so sorry about the ditch earlier on. I'm excited to be here. COVID-19 pandemic. I'm okay. Yeah. Thank God. It's been a crazy couple of months, but I'm grateful to still be here.
Fantastic. So could you please start by telling us a little bit about what you do, specifically at AGS Tribe?
Okay, so AGS Tribe is a platform that connects women to each other and to opportunities. So we provide grants, we provide other opportunities like fellowships and all that. We let them know about these opportunities that exist, because what I found is that anytime or anywhere I went to, whether it had to be a fellowship, whether it was in Nigeria, whether it was abroad, I was always meeting the same set of people. So I started asking myself, why don't people know about these opportunities, especially women? I was always meeting men. So I said, let me create that platform that, women, they can always come and, every day they're updated on the opportunities that are available for them as Africans. So we've been able to also give out grants. We launched a fund last year, a $1 million fund to invest in women. And right now, the women are going through an accelerator program, and we're doing this in partnership with Platform Capital, Unicorn Accelerator. And we just hope that, women, more and more women, get funded, get access to opportunities so that we can all partake in this whole, nation building, and, women can also be socio-economically empowered.
Mm-hmm. No, fantastic. I mean, it's a great thing that you're doing. So how many members do you currently have in AGS Tribe?
We currently have about 1,300, like slightly over 1,300 members in the community. And the community is subscription based. So literally people have to pay monthly, but the value that they get in comparison to the amount that they pay each month is not commensurate. Like, they get so much value. They're able to collaborate with other members. I've heard so many testimonials. I've seen literally millions passing the hands of the women just within the community. I've seen more women get access to jobs, even in this pandemic, locally and even globally. So yeah, it's been an exciting journey just growing the tribe. We literally just started it like as a subscription-based community in December last year. So we've grown pretty fast. So yeah, I'm loving the growth.
And I must say that I do follow AGS Tribe, and I follow you on social platforms, and it's just incredible to see the power of community. Essentially, you see testimonials, like you said, of people being able to access grants, access opportunities for their business, mentorship, and it's really very refreshing to see. So, the fact that you work with so many startups and business owners, I'd like to find out how the COVID-19 pandemic affected running a community of entrepreneurs, and specifically, if you could give us examples of, some of the issues that your entrepreneurs faced during the crisis.
Okay, so AGS Tribe actually has entrepreneurs and people who are working 9-to-5 jobs. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to speak about it generally, how it has affected them. I've heard people say their jobs have been slashed by salaries have been slashed by 60%. So for example, a simple example was someone who was earning 200,000, now she's earning 40,000. So. And that's a typical example that's happened. And these are big organizations that they used to work for. You know, on the entrepreneurial side, I've heard people say they're not selling as much. Some people haven't sold. Some people have had to pivot, you know, to selling other things. You know, I have a logistics company who is, you know, within our community, and you know, it hasn't really affected logistics company as much as it has affected other sectors, but they've also pivoted to start doing, you know, sanitizers, so that when people, you know, get their parcels, they're also kept safe, so they can easily sanitize, you know, some of the parcels. So people have come up with different things. Some people are just saying, you know what, we're just going to try to remain relevant in this season. So some of them are coming up with different programs like Instagram lives, you know, webinars, just to educate their audience and just remain top of mind, so that when all this blows over, they're not forgotten. So people have just come up with different creative ways to just remain relevant, remain top of mind to their audience and all of that. So that's pretty much what we've done so far. I know that even within, for us as a community, you know, some people have had to unsubscribe because they've not been able to keep up with the monthly subscription. We've been able to grant sponsorships for some of them who have come to us and said, oh, we can't afford this month, you know, give us some time and we'll come back. We'll be able to say, you know what, you can still stay on. We understand, you know, what is going on within, like, in this crisis and all of that. So it's been tough on everyone, but we're just trying to, you know, adjust and just, you know, come up with new products, new systems, just to help other people. We're about to launch something as well to help women who have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. We're going to be giving out loans up to 2 million naira in partnership with Secluded. So we're just coming up with different, you know, ways to help these women. We're also able to give out food stuff to women generally, not necessarily women within the tribe, just people generally who didn't have access to, you know, small palliatives and all of that. So it's been an interesting journey. We're all trying to stay afloat. The pandemic is affecting everyone, you know, home and abroad, and we're just trying to just, you know, do the most that we can, you know, with what we have right now.
No, absolutely. And, you know, I know that the AGS Tribe, you guys put together a fundraiser for an education fund for one of your members that unfortunately passed. So could you please tell us a little bit about that? Because it became quite an exciting social media campaign, a fundraising campaign that, you know, raised over 20 million naira. So could you tell us a little bit about that fund and the reason behind why you set it up?
Okay, so Olamide was someone who was, you know, very, very close to the community. She was very active, you know, she's come for all our programs and all of that. And I particularly knew a lot about, you know, her relationship and her well-being and all the work she was doing. I recently supported one of her programs, the last program she hosted just before the pandemic happened. It was a program called Parenting Conference. So I knew a lot about what she was doing. And you know, when she passed, she was, you know, brutally murdered by her fiance. And when that happened, I was like, oh my God, because he also killed himself after. Mm-hmm. You know, it was such a sad story. And, you know, the kids automatically became orphans from nowhere. So I said, you know what, you know, within the community, what can we do to help, you know, these children? You know, she was one of us, so she can't just go like that in vain. So we decided to come up with a campaign to raise, or a fundraiser. We decided to create a fundraiser to start a trust fund for her children, just so that, you know, they continue their education and they don't miss out, you know, because their parents are not here today. Mm-hmm. So we started off with, you know, our target was 20 million naira, and altogether we're able to raise about 25 million naira for the trust fund. And we're excited that FBN Quest trustees, they're going to be helping us manage the fund. One of our partners as well, Platform Capital, also contributed money towards the fund, and they also said that they'll be responsible for the kids' education till, you know, they finish from university. So the money we raise would literally be for to help with education as well, but also upkeep. And you know, just to help them when they're even much older, so that they have, you know, money to like help them kickstart, you know, their lives when they're older. Because right now the kids are really, really young, and since we're fortunate enough to get one of our partners and, you know, ecosystem builders to say, you know what, they'll be responsible at least for school fees, you know, other things like maybe lesson teacher and all that will be taken care of, you know, through the trust fund.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, it's a very, you know, admirable, you know, cause, and I definitely commend you for that. And it's, again, it's the power of community. For me, it was a very beautiful thing to see. You know, I would see your updates, the amount kept rising, and people just, I think, felt very led to give. And may Allah, you know, so Perfect. So Ife, it's quite amazing to see, how involved you are in trying to support your members and trying to ensure that they also have access to opportunities. And I don't want to spend too much time talking about this, but you unfortunately tested positive for COVID-19 while you were, fundraising for Alami Day and, still doing so many things. I think it came a little bit of as a shock for some of us who maybe weren't speaking to you when we saw that you unfortunately tested positive for COVID-19. So let me first start by asking how you're doing now, and if you want to tell us a little bit about what that experience was like, at your comfort level.
Yeah, I'm definitely better. I'm a lot better. When the pandemic or when the COVID-19 hit me, I couldn't literally sit down and talk like this for more than 10 minutes. I literally start feeling really, really tired. And I think it came to me as a shock. And I honestly don't know why I didn't suspect it was COVID-19, especially because I had been doing trainings. I had brought, like a doctor who works in the respiratory unit in London. So the doctor literally works with COVID-19 patients.
I saw that, yes.
Yeah, so he had come to talk to us about some of the symptoms, some of the things that he used, because he also tested positive like 2 days after he did the training with us. So I was very, very aware of what was going on with COVID-19. But when it happened to me, I didn't believe that it was very, very, like I was feeling a lot of pain and I couldn't really understand. I couldn't really explain where the pain was coming from. Like it was almost as if it was like inside. So I was feeling pain in my throat. I had like a fever. I had serious headaches. I had like a lot of body pain, but it still didn't click to me that it was COVID-19 because I had gone to the hospital and I got diagnosed with a bacterial infection. So it didn't really click to me that I should get tested until a week after. Everything they gave me didn't work. And then a doctor advised me that, I think you need to get tested for COVID-19 since everything we've given you hasn't worked. So that was when I went to get tested. So it was a very, very painful experience. It took me about a month to recover. I think I'm still recovering because sometimes I get like some headaches and all of that, but I don't know if it's affected to COVID or I don't know if it's related to COVID, but it's been like that. It's been a journey, to be honest, but I think I have my energy back. I think my energy is probably about 98% right now. So I'm grateful that I didn't get to the point where I had to like go to the isolation center or have to use like the ventilators or anything like that. I was able to manage myself at home, even though it was tough, even though it was a very serious experience, a very crazy experience, but I was able to get the help I needed from some of the doctors that, had helped me through my journey. So I'm thankful for all the support I got. So from people, even online, some people online knew, my family, my husband, my kids, everyone, really came around, to help me go through that process. So I'm grateful for all of them.
Well, thank God that you came out of it. And I wonder if you have any, advice that, might contract COVID-19, because really, the economy has, has started to kind of move forward and people are moving around. So essentially, the chances of getting infected are on the rise. So do you have any precautionary, advice for anybody out there that's, about COVID-19?
My advice to everyone, to be honest, is to tell them to just stay home and stay safe and only go out if they have something important to do. I'm sure we all know right now that, everybody has seen that you can actually do work efficiently from home. Because what happened with me was I was actually at home most of the time, but I got it through one of my nannies. So sometimes you might be home and then somebody walks into your house and the person has it. You might not know. So it's just better to just stay home, stay safe, use your sanitizers, use your face mask, use your face shield, use gloves if you have to when you're out and all that. Just try to just do the best you can. So God forbid, even if you get it, you know that, you did all you could to stay away. To be honest, I think a lot of people are still going to get it, maybe 50% of the population. So it's better to just, boost your immune system properly so that even if you get it, you're not really affected to the point where, God forbid, you die or any of those things happen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Again, thank God for your life, and I'm glad that you better. So I'd like to, to pivot and talk about something a little bit more positive. In the beginning, I was saying that your profile is a very impressive one. So I'm gonna just, tell everybody a little bit about you, and then I would like to kind of find out, how you how your career journey led you to doing what you're doing now. That's
okay.
All right. So you're an author, you're an entrepreneur, you're also a young global leader with over 10 years of management and leadership experience working in fashion, marketing, and manufacturing industries. You hold a biochemistry and an MBA in global, you hold a first degree in biochemistry and an MBA in global business. And you've worked in London, in Nigeria, and you moved back to Nigeria in 2012. So not only are you the managing partner for AGS Tribe, the community that we've been speaking about, you're also a Tony Elumelu Foundation entrepreneur, and you're also a beneficiary of the very advisory and winner of the Junior Super Startup competition. You're somebody who travels abroad, you do different conferences. You're somebody who's essentially an ambassador for Africa, because you travel to different conferences and you represent, the various businesses that you represent, but you also represent your country, the continent of Africa. So before you decided to manage entrepreneurs and corporates full-time at AGS Tribe, what were you doing before, and what led you to entrepreneurship?
Okay, so in my previous life, just before I started with AGS Tribe, I worked in Nigerian Breweries. I was in the corporate communications department, but coincidentally, I was one of the managers in the CSR, so that's corporate social responsibility and sustainability department. So I think I was very, very aware of doing good, and Nigerian Breweries then was one of the early adopters of the Sustainable Development Goals. So we quickly infused it into our daily operations and everything. So we're only 2 in that department. So you can imagine that I was one of the early adopters of the Sustainable Development Goals. So at that time, no one was doing anything, that like specific to, trying to do good and all that in a more structured way. But we were able to do that. So I think that probably made me realize that there's a lot of good to be done. So for example, I used to manage like an education trust fund for Nigerian Breweries. It was called the Felix Ohiwere Education Trust Fund. I'm sure that's probably how I got the idea to start the trust fund for Lamide. Yeah. But we used to, that trust fund, we put in money, back in the day, like obviously maybe like 20 years ago now. And then that money we've been able to every year, or they've been able to every year, build schools for like 11 schools. We literally used to build like 11 school blocks across Nigeria. So I thought about it and I'm like, okay, so these are things that people can do. These are things that organizations can do to help, create a change and make a change in the lives of people living in, low income communities and all that. So it was very, very important for me to also see how I could, even if I'm much smaller or and all of that, to see how I could also contribute. So I've always been passionate about women empowerment. I've been able to do my own bit, to contribute to women empowerment. And because I also had a lot of experience with communications as well. So with all our events, we used to do press releases and all that. So it was just a natural progression. I already had that experience. So I said, you know what, let me start seeing how I can also help other women, with all of this. And my natural disposition is to try to like help people promote their businesses, promote whatever they're doing. I'm a natural, like hype person. I'm a hype person naturally. So that's how, I literally started. So it just naturally progressed to women, because naturally before I've been, advising women and helping women, even from when I was like 18 years old. So when I started my business while I was still working in Nigerian Breweries, it was called Pioneer Mobambini, or it is called Pioneer Mobambini. So a furniture focused business, but we're focused on kids. And, we started applying for different opportunities. So I started seeing that, okay, I was getting a lot of the opportunities I was applying for. So it was obvious that, I probably knew how to apply properly. So maybe my writing skills helped me and stuff like that. I also realized that people didn't know where these opportunities were. Like I said earlier, I decided to now start putting that together. I wrote my book. as well. And during the launch of the book, I said, you know what, I would like to give out grants to women just because of the learning I had gotten from the Tonenimelu entrepreneurship program. So we got a grant. The grant was $5,000, like they give to like 1,000 people every year. Last year it increased. But so we got that grant, and I was like, if this grant could do a lot for me and my business, aside the money, even the visibility that we got, you know, I eventually became the hub lead for Western region and all that. I had a lot of responsibility. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, okay, so I had a lot of responsibilities and all that, you know, with all the work that I was doing. So I said, if my life could literally change, you know, literally because of $5,000, like my life and my business, that I know that other lives can also change if I can as well do, you know, a little bit or a fraction of what Tonenimelu has done. So obviously he's a lot, you know, experience and all that. Every year they give out money to 1,000 entrepreneurs. I said, okay, I'll start with 3. So every year we've been able to give out funding to 3 women. Last year we did 5, and we're about to announce this year's edition as well. And the little drops, what we've realized is little drops of water makes a tiny ocean. I'm literally seeing those businesses, like their lives literally transform in my eyes, you know, from, you know, something so small or not. In fact, some of them have even moved houses. You know, the lifestyle of their children and their families have all changed just because of, you know, and whatever amount we're giving them. And what we do is not like we give a lot of money. We give 1.5 million, 1,500,000, $1,000, things like that. It's nothing exorbitant, but they've been able to use it properly to grow their businesses and take their businesses to the next level. Yes, so that's pretty much how I got into, I would say, development. I think it's my experience with Nigerian Breweries, and because I was there, I did that role for about 5 years, just literally impacting people, impacting communities around, whether it's, so our focus was not necessarily women, our focus was like education, art. So we used to do like national arts competition, stuff like that. And, you know, we could see lives literally transform. So I said, you know what, I'd like to do this, you know, for a living, because I feel like I get a lot of fulfillment when I see the lives of people around me transform. So it. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, you heard me. Okay.
So it essentially seems as though, you know, impacting others and being able to support others has been a part of your life for a long time, and essentially able to turn that into a business. And that's fantastic. You mentioned your book. Would you like to tell us a little bit about what that book was about? And
okay.
You mentioned your book. Can you tell us a little bit about your book, please?
Okay, so my book is called Accessing Grants for Startups, and it basically helps people apply for opportunities in a more professional way. So it just doesn't stop at grants. So it also helps people apply for fellowships and scholarships and stuff like that. Because people, what I find is they have a lot of amazing businesses and amazing business ideas, but they don't know how to communicate it to people. So with the book, you can learn how to pitch, you can learn how to, you know, network, you can learn how to search for opportunities, stuff like that. And I even listed out like 30 opportunities, you know, that people can look forward to every year. I also interviewed about 10 people in the book who grants and other opportunities that help them and their businesses or their careers, you know, go to the next level. Because at the end of the day, you can't do anything on your own. You need people to recommend you. You need people to know what you're doing. So if you're affiliated with all the organizations who are focused on actually impacting lives, your lives will be impacted once you get onto one of their programs. And all you need is one. You know, once you get onto one, you know, there's a ripple effect that goes on. Like I said, I became like a World Bank youth advisor on youth employment because I was the hub lead for Tonenimelu entrepreneurship program. So I was recommended and eventually selected by the World Bank. So it creates like a ripple effect. So if I wasn't part of the TEF program, I wouldn't have gotten onto that program. I probably would have even heard of it because it wasn't something that was publicized or in the news or anything like that. So sometimes you need to get to the right communities, you need to get to the right places. to hear about some opportunities and within our own community as well. I've had opportunities come to me to say, Ife, please, I need 5 women who are interested in this. Or can you recommend 5 people who want to we've been able to men, and because people know that a community of reputable women who it's been a lot easier for them to get opportunities through our network.
Fantastic. Again, the power of community is huge. And I've seen the ripple effect and the testimonials of people that are part of the AGS tribe. So I'd like to, so there's a couple of questions that we have from the audience. And then, we'll talk about some other things, if that's okay with you. So there's somebody here who's asking, in your opinion, what are some of the key issues that startups face, especially in Nigeria?
What startups tell me that they face, I think, like funding, like that's always their number one issue. They say funding, they say finding talent. And I don't think funding is an issue as much. I feel like if you have a good business, people will be chasing you. You say, oh, I want to invest in your business. I want to invest in your business. I don't really believe that funding is a real issue. A lot of people start up businesses without really thinking about the problem that they're going to solve. So once they have that real problem and they put their money where their mouth is. So if they also invest in their own businesses, they would see the ripple effect. They will see how it would grow, and then other people would also want to invest in that business. But finding talent for a business is actually a real issue. Like I've seen it. I've seen a lot of people go through it. You hire people and they don't stay with you for long, or you hire them and they don't have the right set of skills that you need for that job. You now have to train. Like it's a lot of work. While startups don't really have a problem training, I think at the beginning it's harder because you don't really have that time to like be teaching, and because you're not that many in the organization, you guys are small. So you're trying to like maximize, whatever things you have, resources that you have. So you find that, talent management is a huge issue that all of us face, in Nigeria. We have other issues like, when people say, oh, you don't get, government support, taxes and all of that. But I think that other issues are more pressing, than that. Yeah.
So how would you say that we solve the talent gap, that you're referring to? How do we solve that? Because I mean, there's a lot of bright young people in this country. So I don't know that it's a lack of, of bright young people. So why do you think that the gaps are not connecting? So if you have any thoughts on that, it would be interesting to hear. How do
I think the only way really pretty much is to, one, just train. You just have to continue investing in training your people. That's the only way. And you have to look for ways to let them stay with you for the long run, especially people who come on that journey with you early on. You can offer them things more than salary. So you can offer them shares within your organization if they stay with you for X amount of years. So you have that pushing effect. You don't have to continue looking and continue training and all that. And if they know that they have shares, then they're with you 100%, as opposed to them looking for other things to grab along the way. Another thing is education, so which falls under training, but now I'm saying education at a younger age. So if we have like the screen, then a lot of all people who are graduating have certain skills already, like even skills like presentation skills, being able to do like the PowerPoint presentation. Those things add up. I literally interviewed somebody today, and that you know how to do a PowerPoint presentation. So like, oh no, and I was like, I can't even hire you if you don't know how to. Like, where will I even start from? I don't have time to start sitting with you to start explaining how to do a PowerPoint presentation. Like, those are the basic skills that I think that you should even come onto my organization with. I should be training you on other things like maybe grant writing, maybe things that you cannot easily get in school like that. But if you don't have those basic things, it's more difficult for you to be able to progress the way you want to progress, as you go on. So educating people, understanding that also women need to get equal opportunities to education, stuff like that, will really, really make a difference to the talent force, as we progress.
No, I mean, I think there's definitely some valid points. So essentially, like you mentioned, raising finance is not necessarily the only issue that businesses face. I think it's, specifically, one of the things that I've noticed is, as you mentioned, people have great ideas, but they don't necessarily know how to communicate them. They might not necessarily know that they might need a website, or they might, need social media presence, or they might need, so what are some of the tips that you can give, startups and entrepreneurs on maybe 3 key things that they should consider when they're looking for funding for their business?
So they need to know first how to communicate their business. So basically be able to pitch themselves, because if they cannot pitch themselves, then nobody else is going to understand what they're trying to do. Another tip I would give anyone is to join communities. Like, the power of the community is, I cannot even explain it. So if you're going through anything, you can literally just ask your neighbor, like ask somebody who is around you, someone who is also in that process of, setting up their business, or somebody who has just started a business, or someone who has a successful business. In a community, you have all kinds of people. So if you have those kind of people, people of like minds, then it's easier on you. You know that, okay, I'm not alone on this journey. I can easily ask, whatever I need. Those people can also help you, share your business. They can be your first customers. They can help you with your market research. They can help you with your surveys, things like that. So community is very, very key when you want to start, your business. Another key thing is also, I think, build a strong personal brand. Like, I was speaking to somebody recently, and she was like, oh, me, I'm just so chill. I'm just so relaxed. I don't really like to dress up. I don't really like to do this. I don't really like to do that. And I'm like, so how are you going to attract people to want to talk to you? You're going, like, I'm not saying you have to dress up and be looking 100%, but you have to also look the part. So your personal brand. So apart from looking the part physically, so leveraging digital to grow your own self, or grow your own network, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. You have to be on this platform. So if you're hiding and people don't really know who you are, what you're doing, if you're not promoting yourself, you're your first promoter. You have to be a salesperson. So if you don't have those things, then it's difficult for you to. It will be more difficult for you to grow. So the lady I was speaking to, she has a business, and she's quite smart. She was in the banking sector in London. She was doing a lot of things, but for her to get her business like to the next level, like when she drops some products, people buy it, but it's not to the point of, sustainability, But imagine if she had, put in the effort to build a strong brand from the beginning. It would have been a lot easier for her to do whatever she wants to do. I feel like a lot of the reason why people believe me and trust me to join my community is because of the brand I've built over the years. If I wasn't building, I just came and say, yo, come and join my community and be paying me 5,000 naira monthly. People were like, for what? What's she going to be teaching us? Who is she? Things like that. So your personal brand is very, very key. You don't have to be showing your face every day, on social media or on your Instagram page or whatever, but it's important for you, whatever platform that you choose, leverage it properly and understand that there's a goal. You're not just doing this for doing sake. People tell me, you like social media too much. I said, that's my office. That's my office. The way you wake up, get up, have your bath and go to work. That's the same way I wake up, get ready, plan my post and stuff, and meet my people on social media. So the difference is clear. If you want to get the same kind of results I get, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the effort that I've put in. That doesn't mean I also still don't go to work. But my point is, put in the effort and understand that you're going somewhere. I don't just want to be a local leader. Like I say, I'm a global leader. So I want to start attracting people from the beginning. I want to start attracting people in America, Dubai, all kinds of people from now. I don't want to wait till when I need them. I'll now start saying, okay, I can now come to America to come and talk to you guys, or come and sign a deal with you guys. I want them to start seeing my work from now so that they trust me.
No, I mean, you made some fantastic points. Building trust and also building a personal brand is extremely important. And I think we've definitely seen you do that, on social media. You are you're an entrepreneur, you manage a community, but you're also a digital entrepreneur. And I think that, the times that we're in, people need to understand the importance of having, a social media footprint or a digital footprint, because essentially it is a form of currency. Now that being said, a lot of people find social media to be a little bit overwhelming, right? So they're like, okay, how do I create like a content strategy? I can't post every day. So there's actually a question here from someone called Lucky. and it's actually about your own social media presence. So you've been able to grow and you're very consistent on social media. How do you do it? That's essentially the question. How do you do it?
So basically, my brand is about what I do. So even my social media presence, like some people have different personalities. So it's easy for me to infuse what I do. And I think I'm a good storyteller as well. So when I write my stories, I carry people along with me. So yesterday, people were telling me in my DM that, oh my God, I remember when you had one issue at the airport, and we went on the Arcadia with you, and our heart was beating for you. Like they're on my journey with me. When I started AGS Tribe, they're with me. How I have 1 follower, how I moved to 1,000 followers. Now we have that something thousand followers on that page. And to be honest, we only started posting consistently on that platform, I think in December. On my own platform, even when I was sick, I was like, you know what, if I can't just say I'm not going to post. And that time I actually had a problem with my Instagram. So my Instagram, I think I was shadow banned. So my page wasn't growing. So every day I would have like 200 people unfollow me. I would literally just see it dip and dip and dip. But it was a bot that was affecting a couple of people, because a couple of my friends also said they had the same challenge. But I was like, if I really want to like shake Instagram algorithm, I have to consistently continue posting. So I said, you know what, if I just going to keep on posting and keep on posting. But I would say that it's not everybody that has like things in content. So my brain is very content orientated, like the way I do my things. So even when I had COVID, I started thinking about it. Okay, let me start documenting my process and stuff like that. So people don't think about it like that. Hire someone. I don't do anything on our AGS Try page. I have like a team who are ready every day. Sometimes I see things and I sense them. I say, okay, create a story around this and stuff like that. But there are people who are, that's their job. They focus on that and they do that. So the AGS Try page focuses on what AGS Tribe is doing, while I focus on what I'm supposed to be doing. So there are two different brands. I repost stuff, across each other, but I just know that every day I have to post at least 3 times a day. I don't just post for posting sake. So I post things that can create engagement. So that's what social media is for. You have to consistently continue to create engagement, create value. Like yesterday I posted something and I said, because my feed, I want my feed to look a certain way, because I'm trying to attract
that. I love the theme. Well done.
Yeah. I'm trying to attract a particular kind of people so that they know that I'm putting effort in my page. Absolutely. And yesterday I was thinking I had content to post, because trust me, I can never run out of content. I can easily go and repost something from somewhere. But I just said, you know what, if sometimes you think about it like, okay, so what am I going to post today? So I was like, okay, let me just post something about this thing, like, oh my God, I don't know what to post today, blah, blah, blah. And oh my goodness, we had over 180 people comment, because it's actually an issue that people actually face every day. On other posts, I would never get that kind of engagement up to 200, except maybe I want something and all that. But everyday post, you would never get that kind of engagement. So you have to continue thinking about how to create engagement. What are people's pain points? What are they thinking about with respect to your own target audience? So I'm not saying if you're someone focused on women and one day you just start talking about something random, like maybe going to the moon or something, like for me, like it doesn't follow, like, because your followers are not really concerned about going to the moon. Yeah, right. Except maybe you went to the moon, or you just found yourself on the moon and you tell the story from, oh my gosh, I just saw myself in the moon, like how did I get here? So you have to just make it relatable and all that. And I post a lot of relatable content also in my Insta stories. So a lot of people share it with their friends. And Insta stories, just click send, and everybody's talking about it. And I've heard people saying, oh, I just fell on your page and I'm glued now. I get those kind of DMs.
I definitely have to commend you for your storytelling abilities and your ability to create engaging content, because I will say I follow you and I actually look forward to your posts. You're definitely doing something right there. Okay, so it's been interesting speaking to you about that. So for anybody that has, because for me, I also experience it sometimes. Social media can be very overwhelming for me. As much as I work in media, it still can be a process. So I think that consistency is key in everything that you do. For those of you out there who are looking to build a personal brand, like Ife said, you might want to consider hiring someone. You can maybe get a social media intern to take that off you. But the way that the world is going, it's a digital world, and I think it's essential to have some sort of presence on social media. So thank you so much, Ife, for that. So, we're kind of getting to, the ending bit of the interview. And you've spoken so much about AGS Tribe. And I wonder, why join AGS for anybody that's watching?
For anyone who's watching, like I've talked about a lot, it's important for you to be part of a community. So with our community, we share a lot of opportunities. And like I said before, a lot of people know that we have credible people on our platform. So some opportunities that are not in the public are within our space. So they come to me and I share within the community, people apply. Also, it's a community of women who are not doing shakara. Like, I know I've seen people send messages to some members of our community and they'll be like, okay, I want to order something from you. And then the person will give them the price and she'll be like, AGS Tribe discount and stuff. So that family. So we have that notion and that family characteristic in our mind. So we're always willing to help. So whatever you're going through, you know that you have a family of people who are willing to help you go through whatever. Access to jobs, access to grants. So like I said, very soon this week, we're going to give out grant. We're going to announce our grants program and stuff, and people can apply. So just hearing about this information and stuff can actually take you and your business to the next level. We also get discounted. We also get discounts on all our projects or all our products. So a lot of our trainings, you can get discounts on them, even trainings from our partners. So some people have, some schools have say, okay, Fair, can you recommend people who would be interested in scholarships? They come to us. So there's just different things. So it can be a master's abroad, it can be something in Nigeria. So, and as we go on, people just continue coming with the different opportunities for us, and then we continue to share within the community. I don't know any other platform that does it like the way we do. I mean, we literally carry members on our head.
No, I see that. I definitely see that. So how can people join AGS Tribe? What's the process?
You literally just go to www.agstribe.org and you just see join community there. You can also check out our Instagram, which is at AGS Tribe, or my own personal Instagram, which is Ifedayo Durosinmi Etti. And then, the link in my bio will take you straight to the link where you can just easily subscribe. Sometimes people say, oh, I would like to sponsor 10 people. I would like to sponsor one person. We usually announce them on our social media platforms. And yeah, it's been an exciting journey, and I hope you guys, join us. Another benefit is every week we have like different sessions. So training sessions, we bring like experts or people who are successful in particular areas or particular industries to come and talk to members of our community about specific topics. And our members can also choose. So sometimes I get messages and from people say, oh God, I want to learn how to network. So because of the kind of brand I've built, I can easily attract the right people to come and train, this topic. So we've had different people come and talk to us about different things, like negotiating your salary, how to grow your brand, how to market your products, different things. So different topics. So different people tell us, okay, Fair, I'd like to learn this thing. So we might not do it immediately, but we'll take some board and would, because we already have like a schedule of different topics for the year. So yeah, people are learning, people are growing. I know like so many lives have changed. Just the fact that you have people who you can just count on. And sometimes it's even personal. It might not even be anything to do with your business. It might be yourself. So right. 2 days ago, we had someone in the community say she had been looking for a house. Her husband was getting frustrated. They were not finding anything within their budget and all of that. And they had been looking for months, and like literally anyone they get, will just be sold out or taken or something. And then she just came and put it in the community that they're frustrated. This is their last bus stop. Like they don't know what to do. And then literally on that day, someone else in the community said, "I'll help you." And they found a property in the place, in the area, at the right price. And this is something that on a normal day she wouldn't have thought about. She probably wouldn't have even known where to go to ask that kind of question. Or she would have thought, who would even help me? But this person left everything she was doing to go and help her. She's a real estate agent as well, as she just helped her she just sorted her house literally. So it's literally a family of people who are willing to help. And I don't think you can buy that anywhere, aside all the other benefits and all the other things that you get just being a community member. And we have so many other things coming up, like month on month. different things come up, different people come and meet us with, you know, different opportunities, different projects, different programs, and all of that. So we're also building our brand, and more people like would want to continue to work with us. So we're excited. So please join us, join our community.
No, I mean, I feel like, you know, definitely I've been thinking about joining. Sorry, they just took like, I'm so sorry.
I'm going to disturb you.
I'm so sorry. And I'm definitely going to join. I mean, I think it's something I've been thinking about. And speaking to you today, I think it's definitely something that I will do, because I've definitely seen the benefits of it online. And I think I know a couple of people that are part of your community as well.
Thank you.
It's been such a pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for taking the time. You know, it's been such an interesting conversation. You know, we spoke about how the COVID-19 pandemic, you know, personally affected you and members of the community. We also spoke about, you know, your interesting career journey before you became an entrepreneur, and we also spoke about some tips for entrepreneurs and, you know, and corporates about how to navigate, you know, the corporate world and the entrepreneurial world, which is essentially not the easiest one. And I think one of the things that I take away from this conversation is just the power of community and network. That's fantastic. You know, your net worth is essentially, your network is your net worth. That's what they say.
Yep, very important.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you have anything that you'd like to share with us before we go off? Any words of wisdom? You're very
words of wisdom. But I always say to people, don't let fear stop you. Before I started this community, I was scared. I was like, okay, fair, you know, every time you're launching something, people come on this one, you know, stuff like that. But it's been a wonderful journey. I've met so many amazing people. And, you know, it always gets better. You know, you might meet roadblocks on the way. There's like, I've cried many times, but I just knew that I have to keep pushing. So advise anybody here, if they're going through anything, don't worry, it's not the end of the tunnel. Just continue, you know, there'll be light at the end.
Well, absolutely. If you're a very inspiring woman, keep doing what you're doing, you know, keep helping others. Obviously, look forward to, you know, keeping in touch with you and hearing news, you know, about AGS Tribe, and just staying in touch with the work that you guys are doing. So thank you so very much, and have a great afternoon and a great weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, take care. Bye. All right, everybody. Thank you so very much for tuning in to an edition or episode of Scaling Through Crisis, brought to you by Business Day Media and Endeavor Nigeria. My name is Lele Balde, and I will see you very soon. Thank you.